Hello everyone. Happy International Women's Day. I am so excited to have this opportunity to celebrate women in business with NutraPhoria and with you today in this Discover Your Brand and Soul Client Identity Masterclass. I'm your host, Michelle McIsaac, and I'm thrilled to share two of the most foundational components on building a successful online business with you today. First of all, discovering your unique brand and identifying who you're here to serve, what I like to call also your soul client, your soulmate client. Like who is the person that you just can't wait to get out of bed to serve in your wellness practice? So I am actually a NutraPhoria alumni myself. I graduated with the Tier 2 Advanced Diploma in Holistic Nutrition back in 2016, I want to say. And I will never shut up about how this institute has completely transformed my life and my career. I actually started out in business as a holistic nutrition practitioner. I built a 100% virtual practice because I was an Army wife at the time and I needed a career that could follow me wherever I ended up. You know, I started out in dietetics, but I couldn't take that career with me at the time. Like online business wasn't what it was today, so it was a little bit different. But the time I had achieved my first 6 figures in my health practice, a number of my colleagues and my friends in the field started asking me, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing to actually succeed at this? Because the sort of one-to-many model in the health world was fairly new. And there came a day where I realized I was spending a lot of my free time responding to DMs, helping people in their wellness business. And I realized these people were beginning to see the same kind of results I was having. And I kind of fell in love with working in this capacity. So within a little while, I had launched a podcast. I recorded 100 odd episodes, some of me just teaching and others with some of the brightest thought leaders in the wellness space. I had seen thousands of people go through my trainings, all the way from free stuff to jam-packed mastermind events. And this began with me finding a school that taught me what I needed to know to feel confident in my skills and that showed me what was actually possible for me. So today, we're going to dive into why gaining clarity specifically in these 2 key areas is a really essential first step before you get to the offer creation journey, which is really what I love. Like that's my passion, is helping people to establish what their irresistible offer is. But we can't start there. We got to dial it back and figure out, what is your brand? Like what does your personal brand look like, and who is your soulmate client? This is not just about getting clear on the offer you want to create, right? We gotta dial it back. It's about unlocking your true potential as a business owner so that you can confidently share your message with the world. So the thing to know is that when we lack clarity, we often will find ourselves struggling to even write a social media post because we're not totally sure of who we're speaking to. Do you ever feel that way? Like you open up your phone and you're just like, I don't know what I'm doing. What am I supposed to say? You know, I studied, I've got the plaque on the wall, but now what? And so we've got to figure out who it is that we're speaking to and what we should be saying to them so that they can actually, like, their ears can perk up and they can hear us when we're speaking directly to them. Because the online world, in case you haven't noticed, is pretty like, we can just scroll and scroll. It's like squirrel to the next thing. So once we get clear on like who it is that we're supposed to serve, the direction of our business starts to become more focused and intentional. And then suddenly everything starts to flow a lot more naturally. So having this clarity is the foundation of any successful business. When you're clear on who you're meant to serve, a lot of people call it your niche, your area of focus, your brand and your ideal client, you stop attracting the odd person at random, and instead you begin to magnetize those ideal soulmate clients, like the exact people that you literally cannot wait to work with. You're excited for your calls with them. They resonate with your message, and they're so excited to take the next step with you. when you're able to speak directly to that person, and like when I say directly to that person, I mean one person, because a lot of the time when we graduate and we first starting our business, we want to talk to everybody, we want to help everybody, and it's like we're standing in front of we're in a gymnasium full of people and we're like, hi, I'm a health coach and I want to help everybody. But when we dial it down and we instead speak to one person through every message, our content becomes a conversation. It's very different energy. It's no longer this like vague broadcast to the masses in hopes that somebody's going to invest in our mentorship. And instead it becomes this like really powerful and intimate connection with one person. And as a result, all of the people out there that resonate with that message will hear you in a completely new way. So even though you're only talking to one person, lots more people can hear it. Does that make sense? And when you're clear about your ideal client, the work that you do is going to feel so much easier, so much more fulfilling, and aligned with your highest purpose. And I want to say too that like I am somebody who is multi-passionate, and but like sometimes the topic of niche can be really tricky because we feel like, how could I possibly put everything that I am and that I do and that I want to serve people with in a little itty bitty little box and just talk about this forever, because that feels like I'm putting my soul in that little box too, and like it's trapped in there. And that's not what this is about, okay? You still need to bring all of the different facets of who you are into this work, but this is what establishing your personal brand is all about. Okay, so the happier your clients are in actually being able to speak to them in this way, the happier you're going to be. And I promise you, the easier it is for your business to grow. It all starts with finding clarity. And once you have it, you'll start to see how much potential is waiting for you here. Okay, so first I want to talk about branding. And like, if you're joining us live, drop your questions in the chat. As we go through this, I'm going to go back at the end and answer any business questions you have. So please feel free to drop them below. But what exactly is a brand? Like, what do you guys think of when you hear the phrase, like, I'm establishing my personal brand? What comes to mind for you? Because while like many leaders will explain it in different ways, a brand is essentially, it's the look and the feel of your business, but it's really like, to me, it's the essence of your business. It's the energy of your business. If you have a strong personal brand, I can go on your Instagram page, and I can go on your podcast, and I can go in your email list, and I can go on your Facebook page, and they all have, it's like, oh yeah, that's Michelle. Oh yeah, that's Michelle. Oh, okay, that's Michelle. Because it's the overall blend of everything, basically. So I actually Googled the title, like, what is a personal brand, or the definition, and this is what it said. Let me find it here. It's the unique blend of your expertise, values, voice, and energy that sets you apart and makes you instantly recognizable in your industry. Like, oh yeah, that's who that is. You can look at NutraPhoria. You can see, if you scroll down the NutraPhoria page, there's an overall cohesive essence, energy, look. And yes, there's brand colors and there's all that kind of stuff, but also like that's just an itty bitty little piece of the overall puzzle of what a personal brand is. And a brand, it's okay for a brand to evolve over time too. Like, some of you may have not ever gotten into really figuring out your personal brand because it feels like, oh my gosh, like if I decide what this is now, it can never change. And that's not true either. Your brand can be fluid, especially if it's a personal brand. It's different if it's like a big company. You don't see a big company like Apple changing their brand all the time. But the point of this is, it's okay if it is fluid, because as you evolve as a leader, it's going to evolve with you. Okay? So think about a brand like Apple. When you think of Apple, what comes to your mind when you close your eyes and you picture everything that Apple is, what it stands for, what it represents, what it looks like, what it feels like when you get an iPhone, when you open something, an iPad, whatever? they've got this overall essence about them, right? They've got the sleek, modern design of their products, the clean, the minimalistic aesthetic. They've got the feeling of like innovation and cutting edge technology. There's like this certain energy that Apple as a brand exudes. And we all can laugh and joke that like, you know, people who have Apple products and Android products are always joking about how they're so different. And we, you know, we can kind of be like, oh yeah, okay, cool. It's like, it's aspirational, it's sophisticated, it's forward thinking. Even though, if we're being honest, like I have an iPhone, but every new upgraded iPhone kind of feels the same to me as the previous model when I get it. So Apple's brand isn't just about the products. It's not about the products they sell. It's about the way that they make you feel. It's the way we feel when we interact, when we engage with the brand. The clean white packaging, the way their stores are designed. It all speaks to this certain sense of like luxury and simplicity and ease. And when you use an Apple product, you don't just feel like you're using another electronic device. It almost makes you feel like they're a part of something bigger, right? Something that represents progress and growth and creativity. And it's like anything's possible. So this is the power of branding, right? It's about creating an experience that people can connect with on a deeper level. Think about a million different phones that are not from Apple and how you can just tell that they're a different thing. Right? So let's compare this to a totally different brand. Let's look at something totally different. I like to use the example of Coca-Cola because like when you think about Coca-Cola, what comes to mind? We've got the colors, the classic red and white color scheme. We've got the iconic contour of the old bottles. It exudes this feeling of like we're connected to something. There's like this nostalgia about it. It's like our childhood. You've got the brand is like happiness and connection and refreshment. And the imagery that they use is upbeat and celebratory. And the music in their commercials, right? It's groups of people laughing and they're sharing moments and they're just enjoying their lives together. So it's just a bottle of pop or soda, and the marketing is designed to make you feel like it's got a lot more to do with being part of a community. And, you know, sharing a Coke isn't just about the drink. It's the shared experiences and the smiles and the memories that you create with the people that you love. So Coca-Cola isn't just selling this drink. They're selling a sense of like a sense of belonging, a feeling of happiness. And it's just a drink. And we learn a little bit about this in NutraPhoria's schooling too, right? We learn about greenwashing and health washing and how certain products are branded in a way to make us feel something. So we see that here. And another good example that I like is looking at Nike, because Nike is it's just a brand that everybody knows. So when you think about the bold swoosh logo and just do it, and you think about their commercial clips, they're all these like athletes, and it's, you know, they're in a dark training room and they've got little beads of sweat falling and they're pushing their limits. So Nike's brand is not just about selling shoes or workout gear. It's really about selling this whole lifestyle of empowerment and of shattering barriers. So Nike positions themselves as this brand for doers, people who are relentless and driven and committed to their own self-improvement. Their marketing often will feature elite athletes and even just ordinary people who are overcoming challenges in their life. They're choosing to go out there. They're the doers, right? Even though they have this hard thing, they're going out and they're doing the thing. So regardless of who's in their advertising, though, their message does stay the same, and it's always focused on perseverance, on strength, and on the discovery of what it is that you're really made of. Whether you're a marathon runner or a high school basketball player, Nike's brand is all about pushing yourself and going well beyond your limits. So these are big companies that I'm talking about, but when you think about your brand as one person, or maybe a few, if you have a practice, or you have other people that work with you, if you have a team, think about your brand and tell me, like, what emotions or themes do you want to convey to your soulmate client? And when I say soulmate client, remember, we're talking about one person here. But the components of this will make sense to more than one person, if that makes sense. It'll probably make sense by the time we get through this a little bit more. But think about the energy behind what you do. Like, is it empowerment like Nike? Is it joy and nostalgia like Coca-Cola? Or maybe it's, honestly, maybe it's innovation and like more tech forward thinking like Apple. Something more trendy. Whatever it is, our goal is to get clear on what feeling you want your audience to have when they interact with your brand. Just like Nike inspires people to take action and push harder, your brand is intended to inspire something in this person. It should resonate with your soul client's deeper desires. So, what words come to mind when you think about the energy you want to portray through your business? What colors feel aligned with your message? Is it more cooler tones, or is it like, boom, you want something really bright that's going to pop? That's like, you want people to just be like, yes. So a great way to just like very, very, very at the start of this, to begin this process, is to first answer these 3 questions. Who do you serve? That alone, I feel like we can take some time to sit with, because you might go, well, I serve whoever wants my help. But who do you serve? Like, who do you serve? Who can you not wait to get up and serve every day? Who do you want to serve? Who do you have the intention and heart and capability to help bring across the bridge from where they are to where they want to be? Because you're the person who is here to help them do that. Who is that person that you serve? And what value do you offer them? Like, what sort of value is going through this with you going to offer their life? And then a big one that I think we often miss is, how can you back that value up with tangible proof or an intentional promise? Like, how are we actually helping them to see what we do and how we help them, and who we're talking to, right? Because when I think about a brand, the way that I think about this for me personally is like, I have this one person in my mind, and we're gonna get into soulmate client talk in a minute, but I have this one person that I want to serve in my mind. It might be multiple people, but again, I'm like focusing on one soulmate person that I'm working with here. Good morning. And when I am in all of my messaging, when it comes to my brand, when it comes to how I engage with my audience, I'm always speaking to this one person. I'm never speaking, again, in like the gymnasium full of people like, hey, everybody, I work in holistic nutrition and I am here to help all of you, whatever you need. Gallbladder issues, no problem. Hormones, I've got you. Gut health, perfect. It's like, who's the one person that I'm talking to? When I start speaking less like I'm in a gymnasium full of people and I want to help everybody, more like I'm speaking to one very specific person, what happens is it's like tuning to a radio station. Okay, you tune to this station, you turn to a certain channel that only this one person can hear. And you might think, well, I don't want to just have one person work with me. I want to have lots of people come into my world and work with me. So it's like, but when you start speaking to that one person, you speak in every bit of your messaging. Like, I like to think of it as though I'm speaking to that person like they're sitting across the table and I'm having a cup of tea with them. Like, I'm having a cup of tea with my best friend. Of course, I can't wait to get up in the morning and serve this person. I'm so excited to serve them. Every piece of my messaging is going directly to that. Okay, that's how I'm conveying my message. Even as I'm talking to you now, I'm imagining I'm talking to this one person. Multiple people will see this, and not all of them will be that exact person. But if they have sort of the components of who this person is, if they have pieces of them that align with this person, all of the people that hear that will then suddenly go, oh yeah, because they're tuned into that station. And if they don't, here's the other thing that happens. This is really interesting. The other thing that happens is if they're not, let's say they're not that person. They're not my soulmate client. They are seeking something that I am not I am not the person for them. And we're not meant to be the person for everyone. What's going to happen? Instead of us tuning to that radio station and they're suddenly magnetized to our message, they're going to be repelled by our message. And we think, oh gosh, we don't want to repel people. We don't want people to not like us. We don't want people to, but here's the thing. We don't want to work with everybody. We want the people that are not meant for our work to be repelled. This is a good thing because it allows them the gift of being able to find the right people for them. And it opens up space for the people who are like, oh my gosh, this is my person, to then be magnetized by your message and to come in to you. Okay, so this is really important. Both matter. So this comes down to like really being clear on when we feel like we have to people please for everybody in our work. We don't, and we shouldn't feel the need to do that, because it's really like we're never going to please everybody. You can like rescue puppies for a living and someone will find a problem with it. Like it's just the reality of especially being in the online space, which is people that I work with. I work with people who are in the virtual world. So everybody sees your stuff, they're behind a keyboard, and everybody's going to have an opinion, and not everybody's going to like what you're doing. And that's just something, it's not necessarily always easy, but it's something you get used to. And as long as you know that you're doing this work, you're putting yourself out there with the very best of intentions to serve powerfully to that person, your soulmate client, that's where you need to focus your energy. That's where you focus. Is your heart in the right place? Of course it is. So then it's okay. So this is really about weaving this overarching message throughout your content online, throughout your conversations. This is how we fully embody and immerse ourselves in the overall message of what it is that we do and who we are here to help. Does this make sense? It's like someone can just click on your Instagram feed, or they can go over to your website, or they can go anywhere that you are in the virtual world, and without even reading a post, they can feel what you're all about. It's like, oh yeah, that's Helen, that's Mimi, that's Melissa. No matter what platform they find you on, the essence is the same. There's a big difference in the feeling you get when you go to someone's feed, and all of the colors are vibrant and hot pink and neon orange and all of this, to the feeling that you get when someone's feed and all of their images are very simple and minimalistic and neutral and soft and calming. So can you just feel the difference? Or when the wording is a little bit different, or the music is different. Maybe you just do reels and there's no visuals, there's no brand colors, there's nothing. But it's like, what do people feel when they're watching? What do you want them to feel? And this goes back to, we're talking to your soulmate client. This is like the deeply aligned person that naturally resonates with your message, with your values, with your approach. They are going to look at your stuff. And you don't want someone to come into your world that doesn't want to work with you. You want the people that are like, oh my gosh, Mimi she's the only person that I want to help me with this. I have these issues with, hormones, whatever it is. She's my person. So what sort of essence is going to be resonant with your soulmate client? A great way to explore the types of branding that resonate with you personally as an individual is to look at, who are you already following? The people meant for you will find you. Absolutely. Yes, they will find you. But if you are speaking their language through everything, then they're going to find you a lot easier. It's like they're going to go, oh yeah, there she is. I've been looking for you. And this is why it's so important to not pretend that you're something that you're not either, right? Because then we're going to start attracting people, but then we're realizing, oh my gosh, I'm attracting the people that I actually don't want to work with, because they want to work with a version of me that isn't actually in my truth. So I always say, when you're starting to try to figure out more of your personal brand, look at who you already follow and start to consider, why do I follow these people? What is it that I love about their work? Is it something about maybe their style of imagery? Is it their wording in their posts? Is it the way that they're speaking? Do they have a certain essence about them? Do they maybe provide really valuable posts? Do you like those ones that you're just like, oh my gosh, I have to save this and refer back to it? Do they always teach you something new and you just love to learn from them? Or do they just share things that are quirky and inspiring and funny and that you just love to have a place in the online world, in this crazy, turbulent world where you can just go and laugh? So a great place to start to do research here, I would say, is in your saved posts folder. Do you see any patterns around the different types of content that you're drawn to? And do you think there are any parallels there that you feel your soul client would also resonate with? What sort of things do you think would be in their saved posts folder? What kind of stuff are they searching for when they're alone at 9 p.m. on a Friday night and they're just chilling and they're scrolling mindlessly? What are they like, ooh, I gotta save that? Or for me, it's screenshots. My phone has I had 1,100 screenshots yesterday, and I was like, how does this happen to me? Why am I like this? Guilty. So I'm going to share a few questions you can consider here, and you do not have to write these questions down, because after this event, I am going to, if you're in the NutraPhoria community newsletter, I will make sure that when this replay goes out, you can have a copy of some questions you can work through. And I'm going to also give you guys a template for a brand board. So you can actually click on it and open it in Canva, and it'll have empty spaces for you to fill it out and start to build out your own brand. It's going to be so cool. So if you're not on their community newsletter and you want to be, you can just send them a private message here, and we'll make sure that we get you a link so you can sign up for that. Or you can just send me a message as well, and I'll get you set up there. But yeah, we'll make sure that you guys get everything you need to do this. And if you want it sooner, just send me a message and we'll make sure that you get it. But so you don't have to write these questions down, but I want you to just listen for now and think about what pops into your mind when you think of what you're creating and who you want to serve through this body of work that is uniquely yours. What are you attracted to? Chances are you're going to learn a lot about yourself by doing this. What adjectives would you use to describe your brand? I'm going to give you a couple examples, and I want you to notice that each word holds a different frequency or charge to it. And I want you to notice which ones you're attracted to and which ones you may even feel repelled by. Like when you hear it, you're just like, ugh, like, no, that's not me. Okay, you ready? Quaint, educational, bold, relaxed, adventurous, elegant, sparkly, bright, cheerful. What about colorful? Gentle, dark. How about poised or artistic? Basic, complex, funny, joyous, earthy, orderly, quirky, serious, homey, natural, uniform. I guess uniform could kind of go with orderly, but vivid, youthful. See how you think about how different is bold and earthy. There's a different frequency. There's a different charge to it. What tone would you say describes your brand? Is it fun? Is it inspiring? Is it educational? Is it quirky? Or is it serious? What do you want people to feel? Melissa says educational, resourceful, creative, peaceful, natural. Yes. See, this is somebody who knows their brand. They know who they are. They know who they serve. If your brand was a person, if we could take everything that encompasses your brand and turn them into a person, how would they speak? What would they say? What would they sound like? What would this person engage like? Mimi says inspiring. Georgia says inspiring, confident, educational. I love it. So these words, we can go on Instagram, for example, since that's where we're talking. I'll use this as an example. We can go scroll through all these trending sounds, and people say, oh yeah, just use a trending audio and, put some text and stuff on it, and it's great. But if, Mimi, when you choose your reels, are they inspiring? Are the sounds you use, are they giving off the essence, the resonance of inspiring? Are they giving off a serious, and it doesn't mean you can never go without, you can go with trending audio, but what I'm trying to say is these words will be the vibration of everything. I know that's kind of a trendy, cheesy word, the vibe of everything, but it's like the vibration, the essence of everything. So if your brand was a person, what sort of relationship would they have with your ideal client? Would it be like a friend, like when you're talking to your ideal client through the work, through the content that you create, it is the energy that they're feeling. Is it friendly? Do you want them to feel like they're talking to a friend, or do you want it to be more professional and clean and clear? Like, there's a difference between, working with someone like myself, where when I was in practice, my practice was virtual and it was just like this. It was like talking to my best friend across the table. Or is it more like a clinical setting where you want it to be professional and clear and like, you take your shoes off at the door when you come in type thing? There's a different essence. There's a different relationship that people have when they interact with your brand. So what type of emotion should your brand strive to inspire? What type of intentional keywords would inspire trust or spark conversation or lay the foundation for a really strong relationship with your ideal client? One way we can kind of pull this all together is to create something. Again, this is called a brand board. And this, along with all the work you're already doing here with, the soulmate client, all of that, it's just a beautiful way to pull everything together and start to have something tangible that you can look at and that you can see, okay, this is the resonance that I'm trying to get off. This is how I tune into that frequency. It just gives you something visual to refer back to. So you're probably aware of what a vision board is, right? It's 2025. We know. So a brand board is essentially like a vision board, but it's with imagery, words, colors, shapes, fonts, anything that describes that feeling, that essence, that resonance of your personal brand. And you can do them on Canva. I'm sure you guys all know what Canva is. It's a free editing app. And the cool thing is then you can save that to your desktop like a JPEG or a PDF. You can print it out. You can save it as the wallpaper on your phone with all the colors and stuff to really help you in staying in tune with the energy you want your brand to give off. So I find that compiling something like this really helps to bring it all to life. And this can be so helpful in creating this overall look and feel of how you're trying to send the message to your dream client, so that they can see, they can hear, they can feel your brand. And again, it's going to be like tuning the radio to the perfect station where that magnetism can happen. This brand board is going to help you to always know with everything you create for your business, the exact sort of energy that you're infusing into your messaging, so that regardless of whether someone finds you on Instagram or TikTok or your website, they know exactly who you are because your messaging remains consistent. And also, one thing I'd like to add to this, because really offer strategy and offer creation for like a one-to-many, where like, you can have 20 people in a program instead of just working one-on-one with someone. That's kind of my area of focus in what I do. So one thing I like to add to this is that each offer you create, like whether you just have one signature offering and you run that a couple times a year, or maybe you have one big signature offer, but then you do little master classes and you do workshops, every offer you create can also have its own brand as well. So it's like all these different pieces of the puzzle, because every offer you create speaks to a specific rendition or a specific soulmate client, if that makes sense, which is really cool. Melissa says, I think as well, it's getting out of your comfort zone to showcase that side of you. It can be, yeah, absolutely. I would say, fear, we feel like in order to show up and be like, put ourselves out there, that we have to just like get rid of the fear. We got to get over our fears. But really, courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is being able to do it with the fear. It's, you have the fear. It's like, hello, fear, you're here. I feel you. I know you're here. But even though you're here, I'm still going to do this thing. If there was no fear, you wouldn't need to be courageous, right? So when you're trying to tap into courage, remember, you don't have to try to suppress or get rid of your fear. Let your fear exist. Feel the vast spectrum of human emotion that we're meant to feel, because that's normal, that's healthy. That's part of this. And that's why I love holistic nutrition too, right? It's about so much more than what's on your plate. It's about all of you, including your mind, your body, your spirit, your soul. So let me see here. When it all starts to have this kind of cohesive feeling to it, not only is your ideal client going to become drawn to you, almost like a bug to a bright light, because again, it's resonant for them, but they're also they feel more safe to invest in you because they know that they know that you're doing this thing. They know that this is, not just another willy-nilly person who's trying to make a buck. The person, we don't often think about how scary it can be to invest in someone, but it's like this person is offering this thing, this program, this mentorship, maybe it's one-on-one, and I believe that it could change my life, but I'm also a little bit terrified. And I'm going to have to show up and I'm going to have to make a big change that I haven't yet been able to make in my own life by myself, which means I have to make sure that I'm choosing a person who is all in on me, who is consistent in their messaging so that I 100% know and feel safe that the level of support I'm going to get from them is not going to waver. This is not willy-nilly. They've got my back. It is scary to be vulnerable and to be willing to change and to show the parts of you that aren't where you want them to be yet, right? Like, this is where I want to grow. I'm feeling a little struggle here. Having a consistent personal brand helps people to see that you're the real deal. So when your brand starts to come to life on the other side of this, what does it feel like? Feels amazing. And you know what? It's going to evolve over time too. As you evolve as a leader, your brand is meant to evolve. So you might be hearing all of this and think, oh my gosh, what if I choose wrong? What if I choose and I start to speak in this frequency and it feels some kind of way, but then I decide that I don't like it or I want to change it or it needs to be tweaked. That's normal. Your brand is meant to be fluid. It's meant to evolve with you. I can tell you when I first started in business in 2011, the brand that I had then looks vastly different than the personal brand I have today, and it continues to evolve. Your brand is intended to naturally be refined over time, and this is so normal. So if you feel yourself stalling or getting stuck because, oh my gosh, it's not perfect, the goal is not to try to force this branding project to whatever perfection might be overnight. It's rather intended to allow yourself some time and space to play and to explore what resonates most to you when it comes to your brand right now, and then start to implement the pieces that resonate. This is not meant to be a stressful experience. This is meant to be fun and fluid and playful. So my suggestion to you is whenever you're watching this, whether you're watching this live or you're catching the replay, give yourself a day where you can pick a time and you can spend 1 hour with a cup of tea and you can light a candle and throw on some music, right? Change the energy around you to how you want to feel. Clean a place to do this. Don't just sit at your messy desk. Tidy up your desk. Make a spot where you can get comfortable, light a candle, do the things, and you can begin to think about and build out a strong and cohesive brand. How am I going to tune in my message to this person? And when it's finished, I would love for you to share it on Instagram. You can tag NutraPhoria, again, at NutraPhoria here. You can tag me. My handle is _Michelle McIsaac with MC McIsaac. And that way we can see your brand. We can look at them together. We can celebrate this huge step along with you because this is a big deal, guys. This is your messaging on how you get this work that you're building out into the world. This is a beautiful thing. So that's my spiel on personal branding, but I do also want to talk about your soulmate client. I usually just call them my soul client, but it's some people in this industry will call it your ideal client avatar. That kind of feels a little cringy to me, but it is technically what it is, so, but how do we speak to this person? And what I want to say is, once you have the clarity on the heart and the feeling behind your brand, then we can begin to identify who our ideal client even is. What's the difference between having any old person that walks into your practice and having a soulmate or an ideal client? Well, an ideal client is the person they're pumped to work with us. right? Not just anyone. They're not just like, oh yeah, I get to work with a health coach. They're like, I am working with Chris. I am working with Lisa. This is who I want to work with. This is the person who is meant to help me. And we're super pumped to work with them too. Like we're excited for that meeting. Okay. We offer the exact thing that they desire through our body of work. And it feels like a magical experience to work with an ideal client. Whereas working with anyone and everyone can almost feel disempowering, not because we're doing anything wrong, but because there's someone else out there that can serve them better too. Again, this goes back to this idea of when we get clear on our personal brand, we begin to magnetize the people who are intended for our work, and we begin to repel the people who are not. And this is a good thing. We feel like, oh my gosh, we want everyone to be happy and just love us and, for it all to be sunshine and rainbows. But we don't want to work with everyone, and we don't want to just work with anyone. We want to work with him or her, that one person. And it is literally better for everyone involved if we're speaking directly to that one person. And we truly want to be aligned with them. So sometimes this alone can feel really scary because we don't want to repel people. We feel like, okay, I just started my practice. I'm brand new in this field. And literally, if anyone wants to work with me, of course I'm going to work with them. And I 100% understand. However, the more aligned you become as we work through this process, the more you'll find that some people are repelled by your message. This is not a bad thing. I can't stress this enough. You want to repel the people that are not meant for your work. But you'll also notice that your ideal clients, the people who cannot wait to work with you, they will not just follow you anymore. They are going to hop on your live videos because they genuinely care what you have to say. They're going to be DMing you and they're going to be talking about stuff with you because they really just want to be in your energy. They'll be reposting your reels and tagging you in their posts and telling people, you've got to check this out. You've got to check out this girl. It's like this, it's a beautiful, real connection. And the more you connect with that one person, the more you open up yourself for people to be able to find you and connect with you and to listen to you when you say, hey, guess what? I'm launching this exciting new offer. Because these are your people that will become your lifers. I'm telling you, as someone who went from being full-time in the health space to then moving into mentorship, people will follow you even when you switch, like when you move and you change and you evolve as an individual. They'll follow you. They'll invest in your work now, but they'll still be following you a decade down the road when you've gone through half a dozen life changes. This is why getting clear on who you're actually talking to today, right now, is so important. You want to attract effectively and you want to repel effectively. And not take it personally when we repel. Sometimes easier said than done, right? We want everybody to be happy, but remember this is an important piece of the puzzle. Having a clear understanding of your soul client will enable every touch point of your business to be so super clear and effective. From your visuals to your brand, to the products you choose to create and the services, to even the things you share on your posts and your blogs and your live videos. It's like suddenly you're not just like, okay, well, once a week I said I was going to write a blog, so now I have to write a blog. It's like you're going to write a blog that it's going to be so powerful, so effective, so like exactly what your person needs to hear, that you're going to find as you're starting to work with these people, you're saying, oh, by the way, I have a blog post all about this and it's super, super jam-packed. I'm going to send it to you. And suddenly everything you create is becoming a resource. And you know what that means? That means you have to work less hard because you're not having to keep regurgitating the same information because you're building out your resources. And suddenly you can say, okay, here, take this. I've already created this thing. It's awesome. Check it out. It's going to serve you so well. It's going to be so much easier to speak to and attract the types of clients that you truly desire to work with. Now, from my experience, our ideal client is not always, but almost always some sort of past version of ourselves. Think of the kind of client who enables you to create your best work, or the person that gives you total creative freedom, or just really gets what your brand stands for and resonates with it. Who do you want to be working with on a regular basis? I invite you guys to take some time and really go deep with this. You could even go so far as giving them a name or an identity or a way of life. One coach that I've worked with in the past would call his ideal client his Julie. She's my Julie. And he even went so far as to go online. He found a random picture of somebody that he said, this could be my Julie. And he keeps that picture on a wall in his office. I know that sounds a little weird, but it does help, right? It's like when he is faced with any sort of decision in his service-based business, he can look over at the photo and say, what would Julie want to hear right now? And it's just a beautiful way to remember who we came here to serve and what our mission is truly about, which is more important now than ever before, now that we have short form video and like we're just constantly taking in information and everything's changing so quickly. It's so important to think about this. Melissa says, I always see my past health self in my clients. It's so incredible. Yes. And then we know on such a deep level how to get them across the bridge to where they want to be, because we had to walk the bridge alone. We had to make all the mistakes and we had to fall apart while we did it. And we had to it was messy and it was, we wish we knew this part sooner. And it's like, we have all those downloads, we have all those codes, and we can say, hey, grab my hand. I've got you. Let's go. Right? This is the difference. This is why we want to know exactly who it is we're here to serve. So let's think about your Julie. Okay. If we could break things down, maybe you give them a name. I don't know. It could be anybody. If we could break things down and have your soul client be just one person, could be a Julie, a John, whatever. I want you to take a moment and really think about these questions and dig through this a little bit more on your own after this masterclass. Reach out to us and we'll give you the little extra questions and workbook. What does her day look like? Is she busy? Is she stressed? Is she overwhelmed? Is she what is she doing? What does her day actually look like? What does she do for fun? When she's out shopping, does she prioritize price, quality, safety, or ease of use? I love this question. Which one does her mind go to? Oh, I just want the cheapest one. Is that the person you want to work with? You may see that in the way that they look at your offerings too, by the way. Not that there's anything wrong with prioritizing price. I'm just saying. Or do they want the best? Are you looking to create a luxury brand and they want the best of the best? Do they look at safety? It's just got to be the most secure thing. I want to protect myself, protect my family, whatever. Or is it just I just want the easiest thing that's going to give me the least amount of trouble? What are the brands that she loves and why? These questions can feel so impossible because I don't know this person. You got to get to know them. You got to let yourself play. Okay. We're all, I would assume, adults watching this, but where along the way we lost our sense of play as adults, it's really a bummer that we lost that. We don't let ourselves just sit down, close our eyes, put on some music with no words, put on some kind of Zen relaxing music and just think about this person. What is their life like? What are they watching on TV? What do they struggle with? What are the beliefs that they carry? Do they have kids? What kind of TV shows do they watch? Where do they spend their time online? What are they scrolling at all the time? What's in their saved post folder? What do they love to read about? What websites? What blogs? How do you want them to feel when they work with you? What's going to change for them when they find you? What do they struggle with? Where do they need some help? And how does your work fit into that struggle and provide value or offer some sort of relief or support? What are her fears? There's something I want to say about this too, because a lot of people I will see in the business mentorship space will say, you want to sell to someone's fears. And I am not that person. I do not believe that. I think we are in a world where you can speak to the version of someone and look at their ability to be empowered. Why are we trying to sell to people's fears? So that's just a little side note. I just want to throw that in there because I see this a lot. You got to talk to their fears. I do not agree with that. We don't need to be afraid in order to work with someone. We want to feel empowered. We want to feel yes, I can do this. Well, I'm capable. If she can do it, why can't I do it? What are 3 specific ways that you can address this person's needs or address their fears, right? Like you could say, I see that you have this thing, but here's what I know. Here's what I've come to understand. And I have found that if through your messaging, which is in part your brand, you're speaking directly to her and only her or him, meaning potentially the past version of yourself, and you really envision this person as an actual human being, as a heartbeat. I don't really like the word avatar. I think it's more like, this is somebody with a heartbeat. This is someone with a soul. Suddenly you know exactly what to say to them. So I want you guys to think about who your Julie is, or your person. And from this moment on, I want you to start thinking of this person every time you go live, every time you create a piece of content. I want you to speak directly to him or her. The capable version of her, again, not to the fear, into the capable version of her, because she's very much a capable person who can make their own decisions and do this thing. Don't see them as someone with a problem. See them as someone who can do this. And instead of thinking about all the people watching you in the online world, especially if you have a fear of public speaking and you're like, oh my gosh, there are 10 people watching this live right now. Instead, I want you to try to pretend that you're having a conversation with her. You're sitting with your Julie and everything that you create, and she's sitting across the table from you, and the two of you are sipping a cup of tea, having a chat. What is that going to feel like to you? Like if they just showed up at your house and you sat down and you talked to them. Because with this intention of speaking directly to her and envisioning that you are talking to this one person instead of just like a whole bunch of people with a whole bunch of struggles and things, and you begin to practice the sort of magnetism of all of the Julies out there directly in your space that resonate with little pieces of this story. They're not all going to be exactly Julie. You'll see that too, but that's not the point. You're not looking for this exact person, but there's different pieces of her that are going to resonate with your soul client. And all those people will be your soul client. And when you finally meet this person in real life and she messages you and she says, you know what? I was on your live today and you said exactly what I needed to hear. And I appreciate you so much and I'm so grateful. You are going to realize that you did it. Like, oh my gosh, this is her. This is my Julie. And it's an amazing feeling. It truly is. So I hope you guys enjoyed this training and that you have an absolute blast in creating your brand board. It's so much fun. I also have I have some questions that you can work through to kind of make sense of your brand and start to piece it together. And this is, again, intended to be a fun process. Don't feel like, oh my gosh, I have to get this perfect right now, or it's like, it's a disaster. That is not the case. Change the energy where you're going to sit and do this. Take a seat, light a candle, do the things, and have fun with it. And I also have a little something where you can figure out who your Julie is. So I'm going to give you that as well. If you want it before the April 1st community newsletter goes out with NutraPhoria, reach out to me and I can make sure that you get all of that. But in the meantime, it will be going out in the next newsletter as well. But I hope you guys have a blast with this. It's meant to be fun. And congratulations to all of you for making it through this and for doing this work, because this is how we help the people that are they're like intended for the work. This is everything that you've done up until this point. If you look back in hindsight, everything you've done to get to this point, and you look at the body of work that you're creating, this is all just about helping you to find that person, to connect with that person, and make that build that relationship, right? This is the first step for them to find you so that you can build that relationship. All right. So be sure to share your finished products with us. I'm so excited to see what you guys all create. I'm so excited to just watch your brands take off and watch them soar. And thank you so much for being here, and happy International Women's Day.